hold on.
Hey everybody, what's up? Greg Gordon here from Pyramind. Here today to talk with you about another remix collaboration with Sam Marston. How's it going, Sam?
Good, how about you?
It's going good. Good to have you here.
Good to be here.
Cool. Well, you were here, it's been almost a little over a year now, right?
Yeah, coming up on 2, I think.
Coming up on 2, so you're an alum of Pyramind, and you were here taking, which program were you here doing?
I was in the full complete program.
Yeah,
took all the
the
classes.
complete program. That's cool. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about this. This is a track I wrote and produced as kind of a throwback track, really. It's kind of an homage to 70s funk and soul. You know, got that wah-wah guitar, got some Rhodes, you know, and I really tried to produce it as a throwback track. So it was really fun to get to collaborate with you on this remix. Just as a little background with Sam, after Sam graduated here at Pyramind, there was an opportunity that came up with somebody I've known for many years, Jerome, and he was starting a nonprofit organization called I Am for Music. And he was working with younger kids around the age of 15 or so, 15, 16, right?
High school students.
High school students, and really creating opportunities for them to develop their skills really across a broad spectrum of different things. But in the case of our collaboration here, obviously it was in music. He was looking for a musical director and a producer to be able to put in the studio with the kids to help produce their tracks. And so I recommended you.
And I'm very grateful.
Yeah, and I thought it was a great fit. I mean, your musical skills are certainly have really developed and come a long way, and matched with your production chops, make you a pretty fierce dude, huh?
Yeah, thanks to Pyramind.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I learned a lot here through school and through working with Jerome. So it's been a journey, and looking back, I mean, I've definitely seen a lot of growth.
Oh, I've witnessed it firsthand, and to get to collaborate with you now at this level is just so gratifying, you know, because it's like, you know, the student becomes the teacher. And I've learned a lot just in watching you approach this remix. So obviously here on the blog post, you'll be able to hear both of the tracks, and we'll also share with you a sample pack that we've produced out of samples that you created, some of the processing that you used, as well as the original recordings, some of the original recordings that I produced of the wah-wah guitar licks, the original Rhodes. Shout out to Be True, my man Bill Thompson, who's also doing a remix for this. He played all the Rhodes keys on this. Yeah, but you took a different approach here. You took the entire vocal that I sang and Carmel's vocals in its entirety and really revoiced and rebuilt the entire structure of the track around that. So why don't you tell us about how you did this and what your approach was, kind of what inspired you?
Yeah. So yeah, I took the whole vocal. I think generally that tends to be my approach to remixes. I think it gives me a certain limitation that I can work with, and it inspires me to be creative in different ways. Because if I were to just take any vocal from an original track and try to remix it and like chop it up into some new thing that doesn't even relate to what the original was, you know, that's not really my approach. I like keeping it grounded in what the original was and still having the same like message, you know, and there's still so much room keeping the vocal exactly how it is. There's still so much room to do whatever I want underneath. And that's a pretty common thing in like the jazz world, where there's a tune that has a melody, and then people will just re-harmonize it. They pick whatever chords they want, you know. So it's basically kind of what I'm doing, except it's not only re-harmonizing, it's reproducing and everything. So I guess the best thing would just be to hop on an Ableton right away.
Yeah, let's do it. Sure.
So the original song, I was getting a kind of a G minor vibe.
That's what it was.
Yeah. Like I'll play some excerpts. It kind of goes back and forth between G minor and C minor.
You know some of that? Yeah.
Yeah, right here, I believe in the verse, it's on C minor.
As I see our world lose control of the dream.
And then when we get over to the chorus, it goes to the G minor. So in the verse, it's mainly based around C minor, and that's a C minor 9 to give it that sort of R&B feeling. Right there on top.
The D is the 9 right there, right?
Yeah, yeah. And then in the chorus, it goes down to G, and again, that's a 9.
So adding those 9s is a big part of the revoicing that you.
Yeah, I mean, I heard it a little bit in your track too. So I took that same sort of feeling and just added my own chords that were sort of in the same vibe, but in my own way. So I
really love that descending line when you hit the chorus.
I'm getting there.
Yeah, I love that, man.
Yeah, that's my favorite part too.
Yeah.
So yeah, right before that, I have it go from the C minor down to the flat 2 of G minor, which is A flat. And have it resolve down to G minor, and that's something I think I do too much, but I think it sounds really cool, is having the flat 2 resolve down to 1. It just sounds really satisfying to me.
It's tasty.
Yeah, exactly. So then it hits that G again, and then there's the descending chords right there. And here I kind of tease at it. I don't really go all in on the chorus. I kind of have this sort of small, sort of video game sounding kind of thing so that I can go harder later, so that it hits you, but it's familiar. So
yeah, you really hit it on the second chorus.
I want it to really, come out. So here you kind of understand what the chords are in the chorus without it really slapping you across the face yet. So here I'll play a little bit of it. So yeah, those chords, in the original track, the chorus stays right on G.
Yep.
So these chords were inspired by the melody, because the melody, it just holds that one note, the D, the whole, that. So when you just have one note, you can do so much with the chords.
Right.
And I wanted to utilize that one held out note and have some cool harmony going on.
Right.
So
it creates a lot of nice motion around it.
Yeah. So the melody right there is D, which is the 5 of G minor. So I just put that under an E flat major 7, which is the flat 6 of G. So it sounds like that's the first chord I chose, and I had it move down and then eventually land back on G to sort of give it the rooted feeling that I think a chorus should have. And then I had it move down to the 5, and then the flat 2, and then the 1. So basically, those are the chords. And you can hear that in the track. I'll play it a little bit again.
Yeah.
And then we're back into the next verse, which is the same chord progression as the first verse, just that G minor up to C minor, and then back down. And then on the second part of the chorus, I did the same thing, same sort of walking motion, but this time, let's see, what did I do? So the first one was, and then I made that G minor, I made it a major. Kind of makes it sound like, oh, where's it going now? And then that G major leads up to the C minor again, because the G is the 5 of C. So there's that C minor. And I walk down again from the C minor down to G minor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's rooted again.
Mm-hmm.
And I just did that in a similar sort of motion. It's C minor, and then B flat major 7, which is the third in G, but it also kind of acts as the root. It's the relative major of G minor.
Mm-hmm.
And then that same flat 2 down to 1 again.
For the resolution on that.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
Nice.
And yeah, so I'll give a couple bars going into the chorus, and then yeah, you guys can hear the difference between the two choruses. Yeah, so I same chords from earlier, just now there's more layers of stuff. There's the drums going, there's the bass in there, there's synth layers. So yeah, and that all of that came from that one melody note, just holding that D on top, and that's basically the melody, and that made the rest easy for me. So.
And in those synth layers, you've got what synths are you using? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, I'm mainly using Serum. I really like Serum.
Yep.
And a little bit of Massive.
And I think you've got a couple custom Serum patches that we might be giving away with this too, right?
Yeah, I think I'll just put all of them in the pack.
Okay,
so,
cool.
Yeah, I mean,
hear that? Custom Serum patches here too. Nice.
Yeah, get them while they're hot. Yeah, I try to design all my own Serum patches and stuff. It's more fun for me that way. It gives me my own sound.
Sure does.
So, yeah. Let's see. I got yeah, those are some of the synth sounds, and I've got the bass going. And
what rhythms are you sidechaining to?
It's all the kick. Like here I've got my sidechain ghost track, and mostly it's just on quarter notes. Every now and then there's another kick in here that I want to sidechain to. And you'll see they're a little bit off the grid. I can go into that a little bit. This part I wanted to have this sort of like groovy sort of feeling, where it feels like it's not quite in time, but it is. It makes your head knock a little bit. I'll show the verse percussion right here. So I've got the drum MIDI track right here, and then I've got this percussion layer where I've got your drum loop going, and I kind of chopped it up a little bit to move the snare around a little bit.
Right. And shout out to Bill Norwood, who played the drums on this. This is Bill's drum playing on this.
They're banging.
Yeah, they're banging for sure.
And then I've also got this layer of noise that I think really adds to the percussion. Most of it is like reverse swells into certain hits, and I'll play a little bit so you can hear. So yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, I've got
super funky.
Thank you. So let's see, I'll open up the MIDI track, and when I zoom in, you can kind of see some stuff isn't quite on the grid. And you could use like a groove template for this, and sometimes I do, but sometimes I feel I get more control if I just drag stuff slightly off, and that way it's not really stuck to a certain groove template. I can do whatever I want. Things can be grooved differently.
And when you move them, are you selecting the note or multiple notes at the same time?
Yeah, usually.
And then manually shifting them over, or are you using keyboard commands to just subtly move them over around?
Usually what I do, I'll just place one and then move it wherever I want, and then just select this much and duplicate. Oops, that's not what I want. Duplicate.
Right.
So then they're all like that. And then if I need to, I can go in and fine tune. Like right here, this one isn't off the grid the same as this because I've got this sort of double flam hi-hat going. This is the hi-hat.
Yeah, I think that adds to your sound, right?
For sure.
When you go in there and manipulate the rhythm in the way that you did against the revoicing structure
Mm-hmm.
and apply that to the sound design elements that you've done to create your own patches and serum, and all of this comes together in a very, I'd say, unique kind of way.
I hope so, yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. It's really cool, and I love seeing the inner workings of how your mind is thinking around this stuff, because it shows the level of intricacy at play here. Especially when you hear the whole produced piece, and it's amazing how it all just comes together, and it sounds like it's just a nice finished track.
Mm-hmm.
But when you begin to pull apart all the elements, you see all the nuance and
Mm-hmm.
subtlety at play here. Like just the elements of pulling these, rhythms off the grid
Mm-hmm.
that on their own may not sound quite right?
Yeah.
But then when you put it together as a track, you go, wow. And you really have to have some vision, some forethought in how you approach this to make
For
that
sure.
happen, right?
Yeah, there's definitely, I mean, I can always tell, like any song I make, there's always like 1 or 2 tracks or whatever that directly inspire. Like maybe it's not intentional, but for whatever reason, what I'm listening to at the time comes out in my own productions, and there must have been a song or two that inspired this, that had that sort of groove,
Mhm.
and not that I'm copying them, that's just how it works, I
Mhm.
hear what I like, and it's like, oh, I gotta do something like that,
Mhm.
That's how creativity works.
So you took that go, carried it through, but then you changed the EQ on it. You
Yeah.
made it real AM sounding.
Yeah.
Or telephone sounding, however you want to
And
think
it's
of
kind
it.
of like panning a little bit,
Uh-huh.
and so to keep the rap in the middle, and it's got this like sort of go, and it's
Uh-huh.
also like, it's kind of funny, like go, like
Uh-huh. Versus hold on.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe I was kind of imagining like go, like
Yeah,
like
yeah.
dance or something,
Yeah, yeah.
go off.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So I've got the main MIDI track, and then I've got this percussion track where I duplicated the MIDI, and I put a corpus effect on it, which is an Ableton
Mhm.
effect. And I think that was just like a random thing I tried, and I really liked it. So
Oh, let's hear that.
yeah, the drums without it just sound like this. But then when I add it in, it sounds like this.
It's like a resonator. It's creating these resonant tones
Mm.
around all of the percussive hits that
Yeah,
you're feeding into it.
makes it almost sound like a different instrument, even though it has the exact same source as
Mhm.
the original drum track.
Yeah.
And it's got this sort of LFO on it that's
Uh-huh.
making it swell up and down with the
Mhm.
pitch
Mhm.
that I really liked. It just made it sound even wonkier. And I've got toms panning left and right that give it this sort of pulsing sound, along with the vocal that's sort of pulsing, and also I like the bass that's going on here too. That also adds to the wonkiness. And then there's a little bit of a sense of key right there, but I tried to keep it like a little ambiguous. I
Well,
like
you've
ambiguous.
got her sample of her hook all chopped up.
Yeah,
there, right?
yeah, I did kind of the same thing, a similar
Uh-huh.
thing from before, and yeah, chopped it up a little more to keep it in that sort of same environment in this part of the song.
Must have taken you a while to do this, huh?
It honestly did.
Yeah,
but
I appreciate that. I appreciate
Yeah.
the effort you put into this.
Yeah,
it
I
really
mean-
shows. That's why I know when I first heard it, I was like, wow. I was like, I didn't know what to expect, and when I heard this, it just like really floored me. And then we even had a couple creative discussions around it, and I was like, well, maybe you're just going a little too far with this, but I have to say, I really respect that you just kind of put your foot down and said, you know what, Greg, this is my creative vision, take it or leave it. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'll take it, man.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah, no, it's great, and I think it's awesome that we had a chance to kind of take a look at the track today and break it down a little bit and
Mhm.
kind of give us a little insight into the mind of Sam Marston here, right?
There's more in there.
There is more. I know there's a lot more in there. I know you got a band you're working on called Plant,
Yeah,
right?
plants.
Plants.
Yeah, multiple.
Multiple plants. That's cool. So I
Yeah.
know you got this band coming out. A little top secret right now, so we can't say too much about it,
Oh,
right?
I mean, it's not top secret. We're just, in the works. It'll be a while till we have stuff online, but we're working on getting some gigs in the Bay Area.
Okay.
So that's coming up soon. If you're in the Bay, come out and see plants. Yeah, and so I'll let you guys know about that.
Great. And you're working on your own thing right now too?
Yeah.
A Sam Marston project?
Yeah, I'm also working on my own album.
Uh-huh.
It's years in the making. It's taken me a long time, so hopefully it'll be out soon. I'm working really hard on it. Yeah, so look out for that. Follow me on SoundCloud, Sam Marston. And yeah, hopefully that'll be out before the end of the year.
Awesome.
So we'll see.
Yeah, definitely do it. Get it out, man, because you got some great stuff, and I know the future holds a big story for you.
I hope so.
Not that it hasn't already begun, but I think if this is any significant symbol of what's to come, I'm very excited for you.
Me
And
too.
thanks for collaborating with me on this project. Thanks for coming down today and shooting this video. Like we said, we'll have a sample pack. We have a sample pack available for you. If you're checking out our blog right now, you should see it. Don't forget to check out the Hold On video too. Obviously this song was written to have a message, and that's a big part of what the video's about. It's a big part of what these collaborations are about too. So thanks again for coming through today. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you, Greg.
Cool. All right, take care everybody. We'll see you next time. If you're an aspiring music producer and ready to evolve your sound, find out more about our San Francisco ground campus, online classes, and one-on-one mentorships at Pyramind.com.